Hi guys, here's a quick video. I've been experimenting recently with the DHT11 temperature and humidity sensors. You see I've got 3 of them here on this project board. They came from 2 different batches, so they're basically got all the same sort of settings on them, same sort of measurement characteristics, etc. Excuse me. So I've got them connected up to this Arduino. Lots of wires here, but basically we've just got plus minus data on the 3 separate units, and they're coming back to the Arduino here as 3 separate inputs on digital 2, 3 and 4. Other than that, there's nothing else here. That's all it is, just voltage and single data line. So I'm a bit surprised by the performance that I'm seeing on this. It's not particularly reliable or accurate or whatever. In a second I'm going to switch over to the computer screen, so you'll see the code that's running in the Arduino and you'll see the readings that are coming back from the serial port from the sensor. But just as a point of reference, I have here a thermometer unit that generally seems to give good results. So it's measuring 20.5 with a humidity of 64% at the moment. So if I cut over to the computer screen and just make sure I've got the recording started. So if I cut over to the computer screen now, you'll see that, well, the temperature is correct on the first sensor, and the humidity is, let's call it, correct on the second sensor. The readings are totally sort of in dispute with each other. The modules have all been powered up and running and probably settled in. I don't know how much calibration time they need, probably very little. But they've been up and running for, say, 2,300 and something seconds. So without calculating that, I have no idea how many minutes that is, but they have been up and running for quite some time. So, looking at the module again, we have a temperature of 20.7 degrees in here. And we have a relative humidity apparently of 64 in here. That's coming from this temperature unit, this desktop unit that was purchased. And then we've got these 3 sensors which, well, they have no semblance of agreement, really. They're just nothing. So, I mean, the code itself is pretty simple here. I mean, all I'm doing is inside the main loop, we're just throwing together, just count the millis. And then we're doing a loop between pins 2, 3 and 4. And we're doing a read on those pins to pull back the temperature and the humidity. And if the sample failed, we display failed, which occasionally is happening there. If the readings don't fail, then we just do a little delay. Don't know why the delay's there, but don't worry about that at the moment. And then we print the temperature and the humidity. So, as I say, I mean, this has been up and running for long enough. There shouldn't be no reasons for the calibration to be completely crazy. I can't explain why these 3 units are reading like they are. So just as an example, the one that's reading 20 degrees, let's say, I'm just going to swap number 1 and number 3, so you'll see that they disappear from the data there. And I'm going to just take the positions and reverse them. And we're now getting what I would consider entirely different readings. So let's just plug the first one in. So we'll read the first data only. So the first data is 22 and 48. Now admittedly the other ones have been unplugged for a couple of seconds, so I'll plug it straight back in again. 25 and 54. And the third of module is 25 or 26 and 37. So I'm just going to put these in order again. So I'm going to start with module number 1 in position 1. So module 1 position 1, module 2 in position 2, and module 3 in position 3. Back to front. Oops, I might have blown that up. Let's put it back in the right way round. Okay, so it seems to have survived that. So obviously I've been handling these, the temperature will have changed, etc, etc, but the readings, they've all been handled about as much as each other, and they should be all, in theory, reading the same. Yet again, we're getting entirely different readings. I'm just going to take the third one out. It says 29 and 34. So that's the third one out, and that's it back in exactly the same position. So 29 and 34. I'm going to swap the third on the first one. So the first one should be reading 29 and 34 now, which it is. And so they do seem to, obviously it's the sensor itself that's tracking. So that's 29 and 34, hopefully on the middle one. Yeah, which it is pretty much, except for handling differences. So the three units are quite wildly different from each other. So that's them in order 1, 2, 3 again. I'm confused. I know that these aren't the most accurate units. I know that the tolerances are a bit on the wider side, but I'm finding quite dramatic differences here. Once again, looking at the thermometer in the room now, under the lights and everything, which is, well, they're LEDs, as you can probably see in the reflection there. It's an LED strip. I think there's a small amount of heat coming off them, so we've gone up a degree since I've moved the thermometer over here now. But then that doesn't excuse the fact that the sensors are seeing a difference of between 23 and 28 degrees currently. 22 and 27 it's changed to now. And I'm seeing 22 on let's call it the commercial product. So I'm puzzled. None of them are reading close to the 64 humidity. So, opinions and thoughts, please, gentlemen, ladies. If you've got anything to say, I'd really appreciate your comments. Please subscribe and come back for more, and help me out with these little modules. Are these just proving unreliable for me, or are they just unreliable units? Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.